So let's talk about the shift. Even in addiction, even while you were in under the addiction,
Hmm.
you kept running. What made you stay consistent? Because a lot of times you hear people lives fall apart. Like
Hmm.
everything that they were, they no longer are,
Hmm.
while under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Why did running stay so close to you?
So running is therapeutic. I had so much of the honest and real conversations while running with strangers. It's a difference between sitting at Starbucks or sitting at a bar talking to someone, trying to charm someone or put up this facade of who you are. But when you're sitting, excuse me, when you're standing and running with a stranger and you both are going through the mental hurdles of can I do it, can I not, you just go straight to realness. Within 30, excuse me, within 10 to 15 minutes, we're already talking about death of our loved ones, talking about income problems, family members that moved in the house, family members that moved out of the house, 5-year plans, and just being real.
Mm.
Running is very therapeutic. So while I'm in the shelter nursing my leg, and I'm sitting there, I'm putting, it was a torn Achilles tendon, I'm putting marbles into a cup. And I'm just learning how to walk again. And I told myself, as I'm doing my calf extensions on my cot with 4 other gentlemen, we call them gentlemen,
Yeah.
it's living in the same room as me, and I'm just exercising my Achilles tendon, knowing that someday I'm going to walk. And why am I going to stop at walking? I'm going to run. Why am I going to stop at running? I'm going to enter a 5K, a 10K, and a half marathon. And I have
Yeah.
these medals here
Yeah.
for marathons that I've done. The New York City Marathon here, the London Marathon here, Chicago Marathon here. And I knew while sitting in that room with strangers that I will have these medals. I claimed it. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you have to claim it. And I'm sitting here now and I wish I did this, got my life together 20 years ago. But I was listening to a podcast, whatever podcast it was, and he said the best time to get your life together was 20 years ago, and the next time
Is now.
is right now.
That's right.
And I'm getting it together. And I
And
love the journey.
and I'm loving this journey because a lot of people have undergone the same journey as you and they didn't have it together 20 years ago. They're just getting it together today. And to see you as a walking, talking, living testament of you can get your life together. It's not always going to be easy. Matter of fact, it's going to be hard. And you're going
Yeah,
to
it's
meet
gonna be
like
hard.
minded people on that journey that are going to keep you motivated. So, I'm happy to have you here. And
Oh
yes,
yeah.
I'm happy to have you here so that you can share that story. Um, when you decided to start training for the New York City Marathon, it was a big turning point for you. What was going through your mind when you decided to quit? You quit all your addictions cold turkey,
Everything.
which is like unheard of. How did you do that?
First of all, I tried to stop over 400 times. So this New York City Marathon, me stopping wasn't, hey, this is my first stop. Time to
Ah,
stop. No, having trouble with my finances, losing great friendship, losing loved ones, um, losing shelter was not enough for me to stop doing drugs and drinking. Can you believe that?
wow.
You would think that would be the reason to stop, but it wasn't for me. I need to be studied. It wasn't for me. So with me training for 5Ks, 10Ks, and remember I told you on mile 10 I'm thinking about a cigarette, but I knew to do a distance double the half marathon, which a half marathon is 13 miles, the New York City Marathon is 26. I said, there's no way I can do anything. There's no way I can drink,
Yeah.
smoke, and think I'm going to train for a marathon. And just because of that, I stopped. And I'm sitting, and let me tell you something. I stopped before. When I stopped before, it's for a month, 2 months. I need you to know every year of my life for over 20 years, I'm doing some type of drug yearly. So I never stopped longer than a year. But when I stopped for the New York City Marathon, I could smell different.
Mm.
I can I could taste different. Doors that were in front of me for years, I can see different. I didn't have a degree. I didn't have a high school diploma. I had a GED. But as I got sober, I said, hold on, I can go back to school. I decided to go back to school. And before this, I knew for certain I can't read well. I can't study well. I got sober and I realized I'm an index card learner. I have my index card here. I have my MacBook here. I have my iPad here. And I have a 4.0 GPA as we speak. I never had a 4.0 GPA, and it's such a blessing. I got sober, and smoking weed and drinking alcohol and rolling dice every weekend wasn't enough for me.
Mm.
I said, you know what? I gotta leave the country. I was in my 30s without a passport. Yes, I said I lived in
Mhm.
Germany, but when you're in the military, you don't need a passport because it's orders. Hey, you got to go there.
Correct.
You don't need a
Correct.
passport. So I got sober and said, I got to leave the country. And I signed up for the London Marathon.
Look at that.
And when it comes to addictive personality, this is very funny. I said I signed up for the London Marathon, but I never completed a marathon. So as I'm training for the New York City Marathon,
You already setting
I
up.
say, oh no, I gotta sign up for the London Marathon. Didn't even complete a marathon. And when I finished the New York, and while I'm running, the New York City Marathon on mile what
I
23.
remember I was listening to the
Yes,
podcast. You were like, I didn't know what pain was
I didn't know what pain.
until I experienced the pain of going through this marathon.
I didn't know, and I regret signing up. I said, why did I sign up for London? Until I crossed the finish line, I said, I'm going to London, man.
You know what? This idea of clarity. That's what it was. You had an
Mm.
experienced clarity.
Woo!
When you
Tell 'em, girl.
removed the drugs, the alcohol, you removed the negativity around you, you were able to see what was truly meant for you to see, this clarity, this moment of clarity. And you did so much. And even as you were going through the pain, because you described it, pain in my feet, pain in my legs, my whole body, there's a point where you were like, this type of pain,
I didn't think I was going to finish
you
it.
didn't think you were going to finish it.
I didn't, and I'm
And then you
telling
locked
everyone.
in. Somebody said something to you and
Mhm.
you locked in. Someone out there said, you
A
got
man,
this.
yes,
Yeah.
a family. As I'm contemplating on finishing, a guy pointed to me. Right as I'm contemplating, am I going to do this? He pointed to me and said, "You're doing it." And one single tear came out my eye. One tear.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do. I'm
I'm
gonna do
gonna finish
this.
this.
I'm gonna do this.
Oof.
Man.
So now what you said that,
Yeah.
you were at the gym,
Yes.
you were training,
Yes.
you only had 2 clients.
Yes. So.
So how did you build from that to
Okay.
creating this income now?
All right. So remember I said I was in a homeless shelter. For whatever reason, I left the homeless shelter. For whatever reason, it's irrelevant. But I'm able to walk at this time, and I get a job at a gym. I had 2 clients. I don't have a place to live. So what I would do is with my 2 clients, you don't get paid for being there, you get paid per client. When 10:50 hit, 11 o'clock, the gym closes. When 10:50 hit, I'll run up the stairs, hide, wait for them to close the gym. I would sleep in the gym at 4. I would set my alarm for 4:30. Shower. I would take my cup of coffee, which there's nothing in there. When 5 o'clock came, I act like I'm walking in. Good morning. There's nothing in here. Good morning, Ian. I was there from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. for months. And with me being there, obviously, I have the best physique.
Mhm.
And I'm there, and I'm getting more and more clients. I'm grabbing the
Wow.
clients. They're seeing me daily. And I'm getting more and more clients. And from the personal trainer, I became the director of the personal training program.
It's it just shows you when somebody's motivated, when they want something, when you
Ooh,
want
girl.
something, when you want what you want,
Tell them again.
when you want what you want, you
When
are
you want
willing to
what you
do the
want.
work.
Oh, yeah.
You're willing to do the work that it takes to get to it. And again, it just shows you that addictive, that obsession, that personality, it has positives to it. So I don't
100%.
ever want anybody to think that, oh, I have that type of person. It's a negative. No, I had there's an athlete that I know. She says, because I know I have an addictive personality, she says I have to make the choices to direct it in the right direction.
Look at that.
She makes the choice to direct it, which is what you did.
Yeah.
So now you're there. You've become this gym director.
Hmm.
What is continuing to fuel you? Now you're setting your sights on this London marathon
Hmm.
after doing the New York City marathon.
Hmm.
So, did you find that your training changed? Did you maintain the same training protocol, or what was different this second time around?
All right. So there's different ways to get to the world majors, the six world majors. We have Chicago,
Mhm.
Boston, New York, Tokyo, London, and Berlin. All right. And you have to raise money for a charity. Now, London charity was called Shelter. And shelter is very important to me because
Yeah.
I was homeless. So imagine me walking around asking people to donate money for my charity for the homeless. But my maturity level wasn't as it is now because there's no way I'm going to tell you I'm homeless or I was homeless. Hey, this is for homeless people. I was homeless a few months ago, unknown to you. I'm not that mature. But still, I was able to raise the money for the charity, and that has nothing to do with my flight or my hotel. I raised the money for the charity. I was able to go to London. And as far as training regimen, man, I just said I went for a run today, and I learned something every day.
Mm.
Right now, I'm intaking 350 to 700 milligrams of salt every 30 to 40 minutes. I'm burning 749 calories per hour, so I'm trying my best to put at least 200 calories with my waffle stingers every hour. So I have an alert on my watch. 500 calories, 30 minutes has passed. Um, and I also have a Salomon running vest where I have my bladder and it has a tube and I'm drinking. I also have my body glide for chafing, and this is with trial and error.
Mm.
All right,
That's what I was
so
gonna ask.
the
I'm like,
salt was the cramping, the glide, I was chafing and bleeding my legs, and you learn more and more.
mm,
And ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about fitness and health, and I know that's what the show is about, but I need you to take what I'm saying to the aspects of your life other than that. Listen, if you want to be a great actor, act, study, be
yeah,
consistent. If you want to be a better reader, get out there and read. If you want to sell houses, you get under someone who's been doing it for a long time, you listen, and you consistently follow that
that's
person.
right.
With consistency, goals are reached only with consistency.
And the idea of educating yourself,
Oh
because that's
man.
what this platform is about,
Yes.
educating you by exposing you to different athletes, different lifestyles, different stories, so that you are now educated and you're walking into your life with another tool in your belt.